Hello everyone. So we are here for the talk 4 of Devhost 2023 and we have with us Swasthik Shetty is cloud solution engineer at Google, and also he have been GitHub campus expert, Google developers expert, and also president of Sayadri open source community. So yeah, welcome Swastik.
Thanks.
And
Dude.
yeah, yes. And he will be talking about placement, like ask me anything about placement, the session is, but he is open to talk regarding any projects or any tech stacks which you want to ask, or like whether you want to get started with cloud, he can help you with all those things. So yeah, this will be mostly interactive session. So you can put your messages in the YouTube live chat. I will be reading out from there. So yeah, we can start. Over to you, Swastik.
Thanks, Devesh, for the quick intro. So I'll just start with my introduction for the folks who are not aware who I am, or maybe seeing me for the first time, right? Or my juniors probably. I'm Swasthik Shetty. I'm a 2022 graduated from Sayadri College of Engineering and Management, from Information Science and Engineering Department. So currently I work as a cloud solution engineer too at Google, at the Google Cloud team. Whereas every day we as a team try to solve the real world problems for our customers. So when I say these customers are the customers who are super big tech companies or any large scale companies. And as Divesh mentioned, I was part of several open source communities leading as a GitHub campus expert. I was part of Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. I was part of Google Developer Student Club and HackClub. And also I was leading Sayadri open source community. I think that's a quick intro of myself. So I want to keep this session very interactive. I'm open to questions related to placements, academics, or opportunities in industry. How, or maybe if you are interested to listen about my journey, it's not something very special. It's again the ordinary journey, but maybe the challenges I have faced during my college days, and how did I overcome them. Also, if you need any helps about the placement preparations, I'm up for it. So, over to you, folks. Divesh, I think you will be picking some questions, right?
Yeah, guys, you can drop your questions in the YouTube live chat. Cool. I'll read out those. So yeah, there are some welcomes from Achal and Rishabh. Yeah. Okay, Achal has a question about off-campus hiring.
Okay. Cool. So I believe that it all on you folks. First, the question is on you. Do you guys want to sit for placements? Obviously you pay for it, you have to attend. But again, when it comes to placements, do you want to go for service-based companies or product-based companies? I think Adib might have touched this topic a bit. Just to give a bit of difference, right? The service-based companies are the big tech company, large-scale companies where they take projects from their customers or from their clients. They do sort of design with the help of employees from their company, and they deliver the project. So those companies are sort of service-based companies, like for example, Infosys, TCS, Capgemini, etc. Whereas product-based companies are the companies who have a problem statement, they come up with a product and they go to the market. And the rest of the companies, like big tech companies such as Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Spotify, Shopify, PayPal, etc. So these are the product-based companies. So everyone has their own preference. I personally had a preference of just going for off-campus, or not just off-campus. I had a preference of joining a product-based company rather than a service-based company. Only because I did some research. I had spoken to my seniors who got into these service-based companies and understanding how these companies works, right? What happens is in service-based companies, it all depends on the projects you get from the client or the company's clients, right? Uh, if you're lucky, you get a very good project, you get to travel, and you see growth. But most probably, it's very rare that a fresher will be added to a project. I mean, a big project. Usually, it's sort of a small project, and it takes time to grow as an individual to a certain limit, right? Whereas as a you join a product-based company, you work on a product or a feature directly, and there are no criteria or factors like the company is waiting for the client to come in pitch about the problem statement, because they have their own product, they have their own way to generate this revenue. So the pay wise, it's a huge difference. All the product based companies pay really well, including small scale companies like startups. So regarding back to the question about on campus and off campus, right? At least during my period in Sayadri, a lot of companies were service based companies, and hardly we had product based companies. So my focus was trying to get more offers through off campus, whereas I was giving interviews on campus as well, but I was very choosy. Maybe I used to pick only few companies which are product based companies again, and I used to give interviews only to those companies. I never gave interview to any service based companies. So if you are sure about your goals, your plan, and if you are confident about your work, right, you have to make a plan what you want. uh, but again, imagine there are other factors why you are not able to get any offers from the product based companies. It's totally fine to start your career with a client based company. There are some companies like Infosys, they have a very dedicated training. A lot of my friends and seniors who have been through that training had shared their feedback. It's really good. So starting like Infosys training has a really good recognition, or even once you switch later on down the line, uh, the training adds a lot of values on your resume. uh, you will be good once you get trained. So this is what I heard from the people who join service-based companies. But again, it depends. There are a lot of difference from product-based company and service-based company. Not just the pay, the work-life balance. In service-based companies, uh, it depends. I believe it's sort of from easy to medium, or sometimes the work-life balance is really good because you don't get project, but you get paid, right? But again, when you think about your career wise, if you don't work on much project, you don't get much experience. So if you want to switch, uh, during interview they ask what are the projects you have worked on. So if you don't have enough project to explain or discuss during the interview, then they feel that you are not up to the mark. But if you see the other side, if you don't get paid, if you don't get any projects, you still get paid. Yeah. And in the product based companies, if you see for startups, right, they pay really well these days. It all depends on the funds they get raised. But again, if it's a very small team, and if you're working on a very large project, you will have a very less work life balance. Whereas you focus more on working on your core project. Sometimes you might have to work on Saturdays and Sundays as well, or maybe extend your working hours. Uh, Compared to big tech companies where you have a very fixed timeline, or yeah, very fixed timeline where you start your work and maybe you can call it as log in and log off. So you have a very dedicated time. So yeah, so again, the question is back to you. You have to decide whether you want to go for a on campus or off campus. As a suggestion, I would suggest you to apply for as many as possible. Off campus, it's a bit. I mean, it's a bit hard. You need to apply. There are a lot of people competing from your batch, from your seniors, and it's open, right? Anyone can apply for this role. Whereas on campus, it becomes a pretty easy. since the crowd is less, and when the company comes to campus, they have sort of criteria that at least 5 folks or 3 folks they need to hire, because they also spend a lot of money and time in conducting these interviews, right? So on campus it's easy. It's like a lot of service based companies, and it's a nice way to get into any corporate world. Whereas off campus you need to struggle a lot of efforts. You need a very good resume, very good portfolio, or any good contribution. If you are into open source, you need to keep applying a lot. You get a lot of rejection, or you shouldn't get discouraged, and you need to still apply, and you just need 1 year to get into a good company, right? So yeah, so you need to decide what you want. I hope this answers your question.
Yeah. So, like, let's go to other questions. There is one question from Ayman Mohammed. Since the market is getting harder, should we focus on system design?
So again, it depends, right? If you are looking into a software engineering role, and yeah, if you're looking for software engineering role, then system design comes into a picture, or any role sort of, or which comes on the server side, right? Like for example, SRE role, site reliability engineer, or cloud solution engineer, where we work on the back end, making sure things are working fine. Including software engineering team, you will need these skills. But for software engineer as a fresher, it's not mandatory to have, but it's a nice skill to have. But if you're looking for roles like SRE, cloud solution engineers, or any roles which deals with the backend, right, system engineers, so those folks or those roles need system design badly, because you will be working on the server side, or you will be dealing with system or servers, or backend architecture, right? So you will have to understand how the architecture is designed, how things scale up. So that adds a lot of values. So again, if you're looking for a SWE role, it's not mandatory for a fresher, but if you are looking for like a senior software engineer, or if you're looking for a startup, and if you have these skills, it's add a lot of values on your resume. Whereas if you're looking for SRE role, or cloud solution engineer, anything related sort of roles, then I feel fundamentals are very important. At least you should know some basics. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Ayman, it answers your question. If you have anything to follow up, just put it in the chat. So next we have Varadaraj Kini. He asked, what is your opinion on MS, and what is the advantage of doing MS?
So this is a trick question. Everyone has their own preference. I know people who are doing masters after their engineering, like MS. One thing what I personally notice, right? We have very limited opportunities here as soon as we complete our engineering. Whereas if you do masters like MS in some good, very really good college, right? The opportunities are very high. You get a lot of good tech companies coming into your campus. So getting into these companies becomes much easier. But again, I'm not sure how much of knowledge it adds to yourself, or to you, because if you ask me personally, I feel the individual working in a company for 2 years and a person who is doing masters have a lot of difference. Okay, so let's get into practical. If you are looking for a company, imagine you are a hiring manager. Whom would you prefer? Having someone with the theoretical knowledge, or someone with practical knowledge who worked on a good company with a lot of tech stacks and a lot of projects? So whom would you prefer? Right? I think that way. Okay, I might be wrong also. Everyone has their own theory, but this is how I think. If I was a hiring manager, I would prefer someone who knows things to do, who was working on projects, who has a lot of skills, practically did something, than a person who just has a degree, right? But if you see the other side, people with MS get a lot of more opportunities. I know people who flew to different country, and then they did masters there, after which they get a lot of more opportunities. That way they started their career in a good company. But again, you need to spend a lot of money again, right? uh, but yeah, if you see people, at least talking about companies like Google, Microsoft, having masters is nice, but they also expect you to have a practical knowledge or did some really good project during your college or your course. uh, Pay wise, there is no much difference. Even though you did masters, you don't get paid extra, whereas people with 2 years of experience get a bit high paid. This is what I have observed and heard from recruiters. uh, yeah, I think these difference will help you to differentiate, like how much, I mean, whether MS helps not. But again, it's always nice to have good degrees from good colleges.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question, we have one question from Achal, and I guess I can also relate to that question. How did you get GitHub Campus Expert in your first year itself, while most of us are just discovering everything in first year?
I mean, good question. So again, when I was in college, like when I tell college is 11th and 12th, I was not much passionate about coding. I was in computer science, but I was just a ordinary student who used to go to college for fun. I was into sports, so I used to spend most of my college days in ground than in classroom. So I somehow used to by heart read the code and then write it by understanding the syntax, but not really passionate how things work. Since after I joined engineering college, uh, I understood. Okay, now I have to get a bit serious, because after 4 years, I have to get some job, right? That's where I started understanding how things work. Uh, and then I feel it was a coincidence that there was a hackathon hosted by GitHub, oh, not GitHub, sorry, by SOSC, and there was beginning of the session. There were some talks. It was a Hacktoberfest again. There were some sessions conducted by SOSC folks, and I saw Mustaq, who was a first SOSC member who was leading GitHub Campus Expert community. I He explained about the program, how things work, and I felt okay. This is something where I need to get into to understand how communities work and to explore a lot of more opportunities. And then I joined SOSC as a member, where I got to know more about opportunities, communities, how things work. And yeah, that's where I was exposed to this GitHub Campus Expert community. I went back, I did some research how things work, saw a lot of open source communities similar to GitHub, but I felt GitHub was something very new. They had a really good goal of exchanging the knowledge, contributing back to the community by what you learn. uh, that's why I had applied for the Campus Expert program. uh, yeah, and I believe it was in my first sem where I applied, end of first sem. And at that point only Mustaq was a GitHub Campus Expert, after which uh, and then I was also I was aware that there are other two folks like seniors, right? Shashank and Akashdeep. They had applied, but their application got accepted, but they didn't complete the training. Like, and yeah, at that point I still applied to see if my application can go through. and I was accepted to the program. And later comes the difficult part. That's a very hard part where you have to complete the training. So training takes a lot of time. You need to write a lot of things describing your leadership or how you think, which will be reflected through the words, and then you submit it. There are community leads who go through these response. They see whether you are in a right way. The training consists a lot of technical, non-technical, leadership skills, uh, and soft skills as well. Once, I think my whole training period took one sem, I guess, around one and a half sem. Not, yeah, one and a half sem. I think end of first year or beginning of second year, my results were out. I completed the training, and then I was officially a GitHub campus expert. But yeah, the whole process takes a lot of time. It all depends on how you write. Like, I believe when you apply, you need to write few lines, where it's very important to describe not just who you are, also your passion towards these communities. What are your goals in a very short or a very quick summary. Once they feel, okay, you're the right person, you are part of these communities. I was part of SOSC by them, and then see your passion in open source as well. So these are the factors which comes into picture, and yeah, that's how I was able to clear the interview. Okay, just after the training, there was one round of interview, I guess. One or two rounds of interview. And then after which they officially announced that you are the GitHub campus expert. So this whole thing took 1 year.
I hope it answers. Like, actually, yeah, it makes sense. Like, like being in a community actually does a lot of impact in your resume as well as whatever you are applying.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Yes. So Achal, that's your question. So next we have Pranit is asking, could you provide your resume for reference so that we can know how does a Google selected resume looks like?
Honestly speaking, when I was applying for companies, I used to have multiple resumes, each for different roles, because I was applying for software engineering, I was applying for SRE roles as well. And for cloud solution engineer, I had to tweak a bit. So I would suggest you folks not use the same resume for all the roles. See what sort of roles you are applying for. Based on that, try to prioritize all these skills and mention that. But yeah, maybe I can share some resumes what I have used. Once again, for Google, it's not just one resume which took me there. There were multiple resumes I had to submit. First, I think just before the hiring manager reached out to me, she asked for the resume. Soon after I completed all my interviews, she reached out to me again, asked for the updated resume, and I had shared a bit different resume, which is more readable and a bit colorful. Whereas first time I did submit the resume, which was 80 ATS, I think ATS, right? Or ATS or ATC. Yeah, it's ATS. So, which was in ATS format. That way, most of my details were passed, I believe. If your resume is not in ATC format, what happens is, for example, when I spoke to the hiring manager of my team, he was saying that within 24 hours, there were 10K applications for the same role, which is Cloud Solution Engineer 2022 grad. And these were just college grad folks. So they had to stop the opening. So imagine how the recruiter went through all the resumes. I'm pretty sure they can't go through 10K applications, right? So they might use some softwares which scans these resumes, gives a summary, and maybe give a stack rank based on people having relevant skills to the particular role. So based on these stack ranks, they go through from top to bottom. In case if your resume is not ATS format, what happens is your resume will the ATS formatter or not formatter, the ATS parser will not able to pick all the details from your resume. So that means you're losing a lot of opportunities. Your stack ranking might be low, due to which recruiter will not even reach out to you or will not even see your resume, even though your resume is really, really good, right? So this is one tip. Since we are talking about resume, I would suggest make sure that your resume is in ATS format. You can check for you can just Google ATS formatted resumes, or like Harvard has the resume format, which is a bit popular in the industry. So you can check that template. It's very plain, white and black, with minimal design. It's just text and white. It's just a text in a white sheet of paper. Just go for it. And you can test your resumes. You can check for ATS parser or ATS formatter. There are a lot of online tools where you insert your resume and it passes the information. It will tell how the percentage, right? That way you can evaluate your resume. Also, if you want, one good thing I did was I used to share my resume with my seniors who just got hired, not just one or two folks, with multiple folks. Ask if any changes has to be done or anything need to be added. So that way I got a lot of feedback, not just from one person, from multiple persons, which helped me to make sure that my resume is up to the mark. And yeah, maybe at the end I can share some more tips on the resume, but I hope this works for you. But yeah, just to summarize, I will be sharing some of the resumes which I used. But yeah, please keep in mind all the tips what I've shared.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question by Ranjit Kumar is asking, can you give DSA roadmap for a beginner and what roadmap you followed yourself?
Cool. So when I started, there were a lot of I think it was the COVID time where a lot of YouTubers were getting popular. They were sharing their DSA roadmaps. I would suggest you to go through these if you are starting DSA. First thing is to pick a programming language. It could be anything. C++, Java, C, or Python. I think these four are the popular languages which can be used for DSA. Plus, I can tell you a plus point. If you use Python or Java, that adds a bit more value on your resume, because to start DSA, you will know the language. You should know the language, right? So if you're knowing Python, if you're knowing Java, or if you're knowing C++, that gives you more opportunities, because currently, if you see, there are a lot of companies who still uses Java on their backend, right? Or C++. Having these tech stacks will give you more opportunities. I have been interviewed for some companies, but at the end of the interview, they're like, you don't have Java, or you don't know Java. Honestly, I don't know Java. And they're like, oh, we are looking for someone who is really good in Java and who has a bit of experience. So those roles I was not even able to complete, even though I did perform well during the interview. But yeah, if you know Java, it's good. If you know C++, good. But Python, C also works. Okay. So pick a language, spend some time understanding how things work, see how the data structures work, learn about the data structure concepts. Data structures becomes a very important or fundamental concepts for a computer science or information science engineering student. Because if you want to get into IT, you should at least know fundamentals, right? That's what they expect. So pick a language, start DSA, data structures, learn about data structures, try to implement these data structures using the preferred language. then start with object-oriented programming. Uh, Learn about the concepts, and when you learn about object-oriented programming, don't give examples like uh, very basic example what's written in the textbook. Recruiters don't like that, or interviewers don't like that. They believe that you don't know to use these concepts. Every concept you learn in this computer science, right, try to map it to a real world example or real world use case. For example, you're using a priority queue. Where do you use it, right? Where For example, for caching, or if there is sort of a or tasks which are being executed, and you want to sort it based on the priority on the operating system, so use them there. But yeah, so see how where is arrays used, where is graphs used, where are trees used. Knowing this practical use case becomes a very important. Even for object-oriented programming, interviewer might ask where to use inheritance, and if you say parent child, and if you give an example which is in textbook, right, they don't prefer that. Try to give some real world example. I think if you Google, you should get some examples, or watch some videos where they explain about real world scenarios, and then see where object oriented programming is used. So if you're learning something, you should know the purpose of that, right? If you're learning like React, so you should know where do you use it, why it is used, what are the other alternatives. Like, I think you should know why, where, at least these two for each concepts. So if you know that, then you make a purpose of learning something. Oh yeah, once you master one, and then once you learn about data structures and object-oriented programming, there are some algorithms which you will learn when you start solving questions. Don't just wait to complete the entire data structure concept and then start solving questions. Don't do that. DSA works parallelly. So if you're learning about arrays today, go home, try to solve some easy questions related to array. That's how you implement something what you learn, right? Just learning won't help you anyway. So when you learn something, try to implement that. Try to implement array. Try to implement dynamic array. Try solving questions related to array. It's totally fine. If you're stuck, if you don't understand concepts, you know what particular concept you need to check. Like, you're not able to understand about pointers, or if you're not able to understand about 2 pointers, anything like that. So that's where you go back, watch some videos related to that particular topic, come back, go through the question again, see if you are able to answer this question. Spend 20 minutes for each question. Still, if you're not even able to start, it's totally fine. Go to the solutions, see the solution, try to understand why that solution is being approached or given, right? Reading code is also very important. And then once you understand, try to come back, write the same solution or tweak according to you, and then see. This is how you learn. If you don't try, you're not going to learn. So this is how you learn DSA. I know this particular roadmap. It's Neat Code. It's from Neat Code. They have their YouTube channel as well, where they teach DSA. I think this has a pretty much roadmap which talks about how you need to start learning about DSA. And it has a lot of questions inbuilt, so you can go through that. These are a bit popular questions, but I would suggest go through this first. If you have enough time, go through Lead Code, participate in contests like Codechef has their contests which are really, really popular. Code Forces. Start solving, start spending some time. If you wait till your final year, it's not going to happen. Trust me, DSA and solving problems takes a lot of time. At least 3 months, 6 months to get a good grip. If you think that last 2 months of my final year or pre-final year I'll spend learning DSA and then crack good companies, not gonna happen. You need consistency every day. Solve at least one problem. I think I'm pretty sure you folks are in college. I was also in college last I mean 2 years back, so I know you can squeeze some time out of your schedule. Spend half an hour. Half an hour is like a very minimum. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can spend up 1 hour to 2 hour in an average. So try to spend so much of time. Try doing learning something, and that trust. Yeah. So whatever you do in 4 years, right, during your engineering, it's gonna reflect for entire career. So if you spend some 4 years learning something, doing something great, your the rest of the life or your career becomes much easier. You don't have to struggle a lot. Again, it's never too late. Even if you're in final year, or in second year, you have enough time. Only thing is you just have to start. So yeah, I think this should help you to start with DSA.
Yeah, so the neat code link we have sent in the this thing,
Yeah.
YouTube chat. You can check through that. Okay, so yeah, so the next question is okay. Achal Venkatesh, in off-campus for freshers, is it easier to get a job in startups or other established companies?
Uh, Good question. So when I say off campus, I would like there are three skills, like small startups, small scale companies, where usually they are startups but in a small size, and then comes some mid size companies where they can be a startup which have grown to a big company, or or big tech companies, right? Uh, if you see Flipkart, Mintra, and some Cred are also a startup, but they are like a unicorn startup. They have raised from scratch to a even Flipkart, right? To a particular stage. So that means they are also growing. They have grown from past few years. What happens is when you go off through, I mean, when you apply for a company through off campus, if you apply for a very big companies, they have a right team. So they know what are the roles, what are the responsibilities for a fresher. So they set a right expectation. So they expect you to know about fundamentals, do some basic project in your college days, and know a bit of coding. So that's and know about the fundamentals for sure. A bit of coding and fundamentals is what they expect. Whereas if you go for a startup, the team is less. You will be working almost on a lot of things, right? So if you have more skills, that means startup wants that potential where they know a lot of skills. I mean, employee knowing a lot of skills, right? Let's give an example. There are two folks. I mean, person one and person two. Person one knows a good DSA and can track a decent job, whereas person two did a lot of projects and a lot of projects, good tech stack. Uh, they know some things hands on. So why will a startup spend same money on a person who just knows basic fundamentals of basic coding, whereas there is another individual who knows uh, a lot of things. They have a good tech stack. They did some projects because for startups, they don't have enough time for training, right? So they, if you get onboarded, I think in the first week itself, they'll be like, okay, this is our source code. Go through that. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us and we can help. And these are the courses you need to learn. That's how they onboard. Whereas if you go for a big companies, they have a very detailed training. You will have to go through a training for months or years also sometimes. Very dedicated mentors. You get enough time to learn. But only thing is, after 2 years, right? If you see, if you're working in a startup, after 2 years, you know the entire startup, literally from scratch, how each component works, how each features works. You work in a smaller team, whereas compared to a bigger company, you work on a particular feature itself. So you don't know how the other features work or what other teams are working on. So when you go for off campus, having more skills adds more values. But basic thing what they expect is fundamentals, data structures, algorithm, good in at least one or two programming languages. So when I say good, it means really good. Like you should know end to end almost. And if you have worked on good projects, it's good. uh, and yeah, so I think these are the very necessary skills every individual should have. Whereas if you know about networking, OS, databases, it adds a lot of more values. It makes you stand out of the crowd. So having more skills means more opportunities. But to crack any company, you should have fundamentals at least. You should know fundamentals. You should know any one programming language thoroughly. Oh, yeah. I hope this helps. But yeah, feel free to ask counter questions if you feel that my answers are not clearing your doubts or concerns.
Yeah. So next we have actually two people asked similar kind of question. I will merge those and ask you.
Perfect.
So Real Mayor asked, what was your CGPA? And Vartaraj Kini asked, is CGPA very important in off-campus? And what about backlogs?
Okay. Uh, yeah. So I was an average student in college, so I didn't have much. Uh, I mean, I wouldn't say I was bad either. I was decent. So I had grade around 8.2 to 8.3, uh, which was average, I believe, for our university. Uh, I would suggest you to have a decent GPA. I wouldn't ask you to have more than 9. It's very hard for everyone. But if you spend some time, not like me who's just studying before the exam, if you prepare well and if you can get more than 8.5, it's really good. More than 8.5 is like, I would like, you have all the opportunities. What happened is, maybe I can quickly share if you're not aware of this incident. Uh, when Codechef came to campus during my batch, initially they told 8 is the criteria, 8 GPA is a criteria. So we all were preparing. There were 150 folks shortlisted. So during my preparation, I was preparing well because that was one good company which was coming on campus for SRE role, which is sort of close to what I wanted to get in. And they were paying really well as well. But yeah, after some time, just before the interview, I think 2-3 days before the interview, we get a mail from the placement department saying Codechef increased their criteria and they made it 8.5 GPA. So due to which I was not even eligible to give interview. I'm pretty sure I have worked hard for that, but unfortunately I was not able to give the interview. Right, so that happens, which was a bit shocking for a lot of people. Around 150 folks were shortlisted initially, but soon after the mail, only 80 to 100 folks were shortlisted. I would say so. If I would have had more than 8.5 GPA, maybe I would have got that opportunity as well, or maybe I have done really well, right? So in this case, I didn't even get an opportunity to give an interview. So that's why having decent GPA is important. And then a lot of stories I have heard through on campus. What happens is, during on campus, if a company shortlists 2 people, for example, and they have only one requirement, they have pretty much same skill. So how would the last criteria would be they check the GPA? I'm not really sure if this is still being used or not, but this is what I heard from my seniors. When it comes to off campus, startups, they don't even care if you have a backlog or if you have a good GPA or not. They look for skills, as I told. They don't have enough time to evaluate. They just want to know if you are ready to start working from next day itself, right? If they think that you have a potential, you have a lot of skills, technical skills, hands-on experience, you did a lot of projects, then they would just be like, start working. We just want you to join the team. But again, some big companies do see CGPA also as one of the factor to shortlist, because a lot of applications come. They need some criteria to shortlist people. So there's no definite answer, but having decent GPA is very important. More than 8.5 is really good. 8 is also good, but less than 7.5 is not good.
Yeah. So the next question, could you share some info about some campus ambassador programs, their importance, benefits, and impact?
Good, good question. Uh, so there are a lot of open source, not just open source, there are a lot of communities. Uh, Maybe I would start telling why did I join the community, what are the opportunities I got, and then later maybe tell about openings or companies which look for the what do you say, ambassadors, right? I think I was part of GitHub. I was part of Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. I was part of Codechef. I was part of HackClub. I was part of Google Developer Student Club. Uh, so there are a lot of clubs and communities out there. I think now it should be a bit more, since 2 years back, companies or like people got to know that open source or any sort of communities in campus helps people or students in their career, right? First, I would start with SOSC because that's where it all started in my case. Once I joined the community, I got to know about seniors. So through seniors, I got to know what are they working on, how are they preparing for placements, what is a GPA needed. Uh, we didn't have a mentor-mentee sort of thing. Uh, whom would I mean? I'm from a college where I come from Malaysia, so there were some seniors, but again, I was not really sure how to reach out to them. Maybe I was a bit introvert, I guess. But this community made a safe space for me, where I could ask my questions randomly to anyone, and people were happy to answer them. They never uh, took it lightly. They always answered my questions no matter what. I remember I used to reach out to my seniors, ping them, and ask, "Oh, dude, I'm getting this error. How do I fix that?" Or if I'm working on a project, I don't know how to start, or I'm getting some weird error, I don't know how to solve, right? So that time there were no chat GPTs or nothing like that. Maybe I had to go to Stack Overflows. Still, if I'm not able to find, then reaching out to the people was only option I had back then. So I used to reach out to people. So seniors played a huge role in my case. They helped me. And when you are in a community, it's not just you growing. It becomes a responsibility of each individual to make sure that along with you, there are community members or people around you also growing, right? So that's how we all encourage each other. We all share knowledge for free, and that's the main motivation of why SOC was started. We want to do it. We want to share our knowledge for free, uh, and wanted to help each other. Right? It's not just me growing. I want others to grow as well along with me. And if you see, this is a fact, right? You might see posters outside campus or around the campus that people getting into good tech, good packages, out of which I can assure you that most of the folks are a part of SOC member. There are a lot of people. I don't want to take out names, but I'm sure that you are aware. If not, then every year see who is getting the maximum pay or a package, right? Or any off campus. See if they were part of SOSC. I'm pretty sure out of 100%, see 80 to 90% were part of SOSC. So that means there are more opportunities when it comes to even when you are part of communities. Okay, there's an event happening there, you all go participate together, you get a lot of exposure. So that way, when I joined SOSC, I got to know about GitHub Campus Expert. Once I was part of GitHub Campus Expert, I got to talk to not just my seniors from my college, I got to talk to people across the globe who are doing their studies, right? Uh, that way, it gave me a lot of more exposure, see what's happening. Trust me, people also share job opportunities as well. If you join any community, if there are any openings in US or any other regions, they share the opportunity, and that gives you more exposure. You don't have to sit and scroll LinkedIn to know about opportunities, right? People share the opportunities, and these opportunities are very inclusive, and it's less popular. Whereas in LinkedIn, there will be 100 people watching and applying at the same time. So these opportunities are people who are working already in a company, and they know that there is opening in their team. So what they do is they internally add it in these communities. Reason being, if they add it on their LinkedIn, there can be anyone who is not at all interested in tech but just want a job. They apply for that role. But people in a tech communities are the one who are passionate about tech, right? That's why already they filter some people, and the people who apply through these through these communities are the one who are passionate about, who really want to do something impactful. So that's why they share these opportunities in these groups. There are a lot of hackathons happening. I was part of a hackathon. So there was a hackathon happening in Kerala. Due to COVID, it was virtual. It was from a cyber dom, and the hackathon was open for all. I got to know about this hackathon again through a community. Uh, I asked my folks, I asked my friends, they were not interested or they were busy, and I wanted someone to participate with me. That's where I reached out to people. I reached out in the group looking for people, and I met some amazing folks who are into tech. Joined along with them, participated, and I was, one of the team who were in top 50 globally. So that helped me to know other people, learn from them, reach out to people. That gives a lot of benefits. So other than that, you get to attend events, and the company is gonna pay for it. When I became campus expert, there was GitHub Universe. When I became a GitHub campus expert, there was a GitHub Universe, which is an annual event happening, and that year it was supposed to happen in Paris. I was supposed to fly to Paris and attend the event in person, but unfortunately, COVID hit badly. Everything became virtual, and I missed that opportunity. That being said, in my final year, I got to travel a bit, and all the expense are taken by these communities. So I don't even have to spend a penny, including food, stay, flight, travel, everything. So that those are the four perks what you have. But important thing is you learn, you meet people, you socialize, you get more opportunities, and then you can't miss swags, right? So you get a lot of swags exclusive from these communities, and the amount of swags you get is like a lot. You're gonna love it. So that should be a motivation to join these communities, start exploring, learn, and grow, and yeah, or definitely contribute back to the community. So to talk about, there are a lot of clubs and communities which I am aware of. Google has a Google Developer Student Club. That is for college folks. There is GDG, which started in Mangalore very recently. So you can join those clubs as well. HackClub is something started in US, if I'm not wrong. And this club, the main purpose of this club is to encourage school kids, not college folks, school kids, right? Or who are in school should start the tech. Trust me, I knew a guy who was in 6th or 7th grade and he was writing code in Next.js when I was in my pre-final year and learning Next. So see the difference, right? This he was from uh, Indonesia, I guess. I don't remember the region, but yeah, you see the difference. A seventh or sixth standard grade kid and a pre-final year kid. Uh, so there's a lot of difference. And he used to be the one of the major contributor for HackClub. He used to host events, right? So that sort of opportunities you get. If you don't get opportunities in college, it's totally fine. You get to lead some of the major global events if you're part of these clubs and communities. And yeah, also Hack Club is something, but I got to know that Hack Club stopped supporting college, like engineering college students, and they focus again back uh, to clubs and like school folks, like kids from school. But you can always try. Hack Club is something really cool. Their swags are really cool. Then there is Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. You get to, if you want to start learning about cloud, right? If you're part of this club, you'll get credits to learn Azure. There are a lot of courses. So start learning Azure. And just give me a sec. Yeah, and then you get to attend the benefits as well. Yeah, you get to use the benefits, and then what else? Codechef has a chapter program. I'm not sure if they still continue it. Then there is Codechef, Microsoft. But yeah, there's Postman who started just after my graduation, maybe pre-final year, I guess, where they teach about REST APIs, how things work. You get more hands-on on their tools. So maybe I can share some more list of clubs and opportunities, but this is something what I am aware of right now. So you can always check them. Also, maybe if there's enough time, I can quickly share a quick story. What happened? Yeah. So what happened is I got to know about an opportunity through a community. Okay, and I was not interested in that particular role, but I suggested my friend, and she applied for that role. She got hired, and since she was since we were in third year, she was not hired as a full time. She worked as a intern for 2 years, and even during the internship, she got the same amount of money what a full time employee gets. So that means my friend was already working from third year, right? And yeah, so that sort of opportunities you get. And now she joined as a community head. She was also part of her. She was part of SOSC. She joined as a community head, and she was leading Codechef as a community lead. And now she switched to a technical role where she works as a full-time engineer, a full-time developer. Yep. Any other questions or any other topics you want to know more?
Yeah. So the next question we have is by Achal. What does cloud solution engineer actually have to do?
Huh. Oh. So to talk more about this role, right? So I work in a team called Cloud Solution Engineering Team under Google Cloud, where I work as work in a break fix team. So when I say break fix team, it's sort of not building something. It's not a regular software engineering role where you code entire day. What we do is we get cases. So when I say cases, it's high priority cases where the customer's production is down, right? And then what we have to do is we need to investigate what's happening. Why did the issue occur? How did it occur? And how to fix them. And then you work with multiple teams or you work independently. It's all up to you. there's a lot of collaboration happening between software engineering team, SRE team, and solution engineering team. So these three work very closely. Uh, so what we do is we sort of investigate, we see what's happening, we have backend access, so we see what went wrong, and then we try to fix the issue. This is a overview how what a cloud solution engineer do. Also, we get to work on tools to automate or to help reduce the incidents, right? Yeah, and best part is you get to talk to people. It's a very dynamic role where you get to solve real world problems every day. It's not the same issue you solve every day or do the same task every day. Also, you get to see the architecture of customers. So that means you see how customers design their architecture, how things work, how they use a particular product. But yeah, again, under cloud solution engineering and under Google Cloud Solution Engineering, well, there are 4 teams, I would say, or short. Yeah, 4 teams: networking, data engineering, serverless, or platform, and then infra. So I am part of a data engineering team specialized in BigQuery and Cloud Composer. So if you're aware of these 2 products, then yeah. If not, then BigQuery is a data warehouse product, and Cloud Composer is a orchestration tool for managing and organizing the cron jobs. I think how I explained about the role, but again, in short, it's a break fix team. How SRE works for Google, we work as SRE for customers.
Yeah. So next we have, I guess you have answered it already. Like maybe he came late. Is system design important for freshers?
Not really. Not really, but depends on the role. If you are looking for just a SWE in a fresh, uh, good company, then you should know DSC and fundamentals. That's very important. System design are not expected until you apply for SRE or solution engineering role. But I mean, yeah. But if you're applying for a startup, knowing them adds a lot of values, gives more opportunities, and it's always a nice uh, skill to have for a fresher. But I would suggest don't spend much time. Focus on fundamentals, learn about data structures, algorithm, do some good project. That's more important.
Yeah. So next is by Disha Shetty. She asked, what aspects of your experience or skills do you think made you stand out and be the cherry on top for Google during the hiring process?
Uh, Maybe I can think or I can share what I believe. Okay. Uh, just I used to spend some time doing projects. So project makes me always keeps me more excited, give me a lot of hands-on experience where there could be people who are good in GPA or uh, who are good in academics, right? Or they might have know some skills, but I had a lot of more uh, what do you say, hands-on experience. I had built a lot of projects. I used to do a lot of freelancing. Maybe I missed in my intro, but I used to do freelancing. I used to work for a number of people. So that way, I used to do something from scratch, design something and do from scratch. That give me a lot of exposure. Even during interview, the way interview went more than expected time, where both had a good time exploring a lot of things. So what happens is during interview, if you have enough experience or if you've done enough project, gives you more confident. So you know what you're looking for, right? Never settle for something less than what you deserve. So if you think have done all your homework, you're good, you know all the fundamentals, you spend some more time learning, you have more experience building projects, gives a lot of confidence in your interviews. That also, if you have some good projects on your GitHub, right, even the recruiter or interviewer also know that, okay, this person is not just bluffing, he knows he did things. He also contributed to some of the open projects. That means he is passionate, right? And yeah, maybe my internship experience also added a bit more uh, values. Uh, yeah, so just to summarize, I was part of a lot of communities. So I'm not kidding. Most of my interviewer used to ask, "What do you do in SOSC? What is SOSC? What do you do in GitHub? What do you do as a GitHub campus expert?" When I tell these stories or what we do, right, it used to make them feel okay. These kids are actually passionate, not just doing things for some sake. They have a passion of sharing knowledge, learning from each other. They have interest for tech. Yeah, so being part of a lot of communities, more projects, more experience of maybe freelancing my internship, right, that added a bit of value. And uh, yeah, I think, what else? I think those are the main factors, I guess, which played a huge role. But yeah, there were incidents where I got some offers, but I was not fine with that, since since I felt I deserve something better. But yeah, it all, you should know your ability, you should know your worth, right? Don't settle for something less than what you deserve. I would suggest you have spend time learning what you are good at. Just be good at what you do. That's one suggestion which I would like to give. No matter what you do, if you're a designer, design well. If you want to become a software engineer, learn DSA, do more projects, uh, then give more interviews, you will crack it. If you want a SRE role, learn about system design, know about OS, DB, Unix, networking, and a bit of DSA also important. Yeah, so just learn those things. If you like content writing, write more, write blogs. If it is technical, write technical content. It can be about any topic. Like you do some research and just write a paper. So more work you do, more opportunities, more pay, and more. Yeah, I mean it makes everything much easier. If you're a designer, do more designs, make a good portfolio. Oh, this is something what I would like to highlight. Having a great portfolio is a must if you're some expecting something high. If you're a developer, if you do a lot of front end design, or if you know how to build web applications, make a portfolio. That's a minimum you can do, right? Instead of doing random projects which doesn't even add values other than your skill sets or experience. Make a nice portfolio. If you are not good at coding, you get templates, you can tweak them. So have a nice portfolio. If you're a designer, make a nice portfolio. That if you're contented, any whatever you do, right? Just have a nice portfolio, and just don't go for. I would like even in my college, right? Everyone had that one thought that after graduation, I want to become a software engineer. I would. It's a bit sad. In our college, they don't educate about all the opportunities. Everyone thinks software engineering is the ultimate. It's wrong. Every role has equal impact, equal potential in the industry. Uh, just see what is something what you like. Like for example, if you like coding, continue that passion. If you like designing, continue that passion. Just be good at what you do, and just follow your interest. Because what happens is, in long term, right, you pick something just for the sake of job, and then down the line you will not be happy. uh, it becomes very hectic for you. You won't be happy even though you earn a lot, right? Later on, it's not just the money and the job, it's the mental peace what you need, which is very important. So that's why, if you like what you do, you will be at least happy or satisfied, no matter how much you gain or enjoy, how much you work for, right? And I'm pretty sure if you work on what you like to do, you will be more positive. You will see exponential growth in your career, even though you start very low. But later on, since you have that passion, you will work a bit more towards your passion, and that keeps you growing. So this I can guarantee. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we have around like 4 to 5 more questions. So yeah. So one is from Nanda Nagera. He told, is demand for app development reduced?
Uh, See, I'll tell. There are a lot of tech terms or hype comes up and goes down. When I was in engineering or final year, the crypto or blockchain was hyped up. It was everywhere. People, my batchmates used to do projects on final year projects on blockchain. But where is it now? It's still there. Crypto is also still there, but I think it's just a hype. Every year something comes up and goes down, right? But every role is important. If you are a web developer or a front end developer, or if you're a back end developer or mobile application developer, right? Everything is important. There are opportunities. If you are very passionate about mobile applications, look for companies who hire just mobile application engineers. There are a lot of roles in startups. If you check on LinkedIn or if you go to any career websites, right? So you will see opportunities there. And since you know what is your interest, you said mobile application. Look for the companies who has their product as a mobile application. Spotify, PayPal, Cred. Uh, yeah, I think all the major big companies have their mobile application as well. Go to their career website. Look for the opportunities. If you know that you are good at something, ask for referrals, reach out to people. I'm pretty sure if they see your resume, if they think that okay, this person has a potential, they will give referrals no matter which company it is, right? uh, Once you get referral, it becomes a bit easier. If you don't get referral, it's totally fine, but you should apply and just prepare well. Also, one quick tip: give more mock interviews. Uh, the more interviews you give, more confidence you get. It becomes much easier to crack these interviews. So mock interviews are very important. There are a lot of website, interview.io, I guess, or mockinterview.io something. There are a lot of website. If you check, they take mock interviews. Ask your seniors or batchmates to take your mock interviews. Uh, so that gives you a bit of confidence. So next time you go for an interview, you will be confident. So you know how to answer a question or how to expect the next answer. So it's a skill you should have, and everything depends from your intro. So how you give an intro starts from there. In your intro, you talk about a good project. Next question will be on your project. They'll ask about the tech stack. They'll ask about the programming language. They'll ask about why did you use this, not that. That's how you lead your interview, right? So if you are very blank, you don't know how to how to start an interview in a good way, then they expect what should I ask, or they go through a resume, or they ask basic template questions related to computer fundamentals. So prepare well for interviews. Just give more and more interviews, becomes much easier. But yeah, back to your question. Uh, there are still companies who hire for application developers. Only thing is you need to be good at what you do and look for the companies who hire. So I think that should help you.
Yeah. Moving to the next question. If If one has the capital to,
Next question.
oh, sorry, I didn't mute. Okay,
Right.
so if one has the capital to study abroad, should that be a priority or getting into a low or mid paying job and work for a year or two for getting experience?
Uh, I have seen this trend in the industry. What happens is people, no matter if they have a capital or not, they work for 1 year at least or two, and then they do the master and come back. So that way, they will know the market. Okay, they'll know how things work, what people do in industry, how a company hires folks, right? And then they do masters based on the technology or any domain. Maybe it's on their interest or based on the opportunities. Then they get, as I told, once you do the masters, you get more opportunities. They give interview and then get into good companies. So that can be one good step. But if you are really sure you want to continue doing masters, there's nothing harm in that. You can go do your masters. Once you do your masters, you get more opportunities. Only thing I would suggest is during your masters as well as currently, if you're sure that you want to do masters, don't stop preparing or don't stop learning. uh, you enjoy your college days as well. I'm not stressed. Maybe I didn't speak about, or maybe yeah, I just spoke about learning and trying, like learning and exploring. But again, during your college, it's very important to have fun as well, because once you graduate, the world is completely different. It's hard to make friends other than your colleagues. There's again a thin layer which differentiate between a colleague and a friend, right? But yeah, there won't be people to support you, or there won't be lecturers to guide you. It's all on you. You are really leading your life. You in college, what we do is we know, okay, like there are lecturers or teachers to guide us if we do some mistake. There are friends to help. If I have a quick question, I can ask my friend or a person sitting next to me. But once you graduate, like you can ask your colleague once or twice, but you can't ask every time, like how you ask your friends, right? When they get frustrated, and there won't be people. It's just a task assigned to you, and you will be working on that. So things are very different. So have fun in your college days, but yeah, don't stop learning. Even though you are sure that you're doing masters, learn something, at least fundamentals, and then start doing some projects. When you do masters, learn something more. Just try to get as much as possible. You get to meet people as well, right? You get to meet some good professors, learn from them, and once you have a opportunity to give interview, perform really well, that lands you in a very good job. So yeah, I think this should help you.
Yeah. So next, where can we get to know about internship?
So
Where can we get to know about internship and how to apply for it?
Okay. Uh, LinkedIn has a lot of openings for internships, but yeah, that gives a bit of you get a lot of options. Again, if you are sure, okay, I want to get internship in this particular company badly, go to careers.xyz.com or that website or that company's domain, and then search for internship, put filter. These days, if you go to any career website, right, there is an option for alert. So you can set an alert. Even in LinkedIn, you can set an alert for internship. So as soon as there are any openings for internship, you get notified. That way you don't miss any openings or you don't miss any internships. And so sometimes for internship, you start it early, like second year, third year, so you don't have much things to put on your resume. That case, it becomes a bit difficult to get an internship outside. One thing what you can do is reach out. There are a lot of companies in and around Mangalore. So Novigo, there is Nivies, there is Winman, a lot of companies. Yeah, so reach out to them directly. share your resumes, tell your interest, and that way also you can get a good experience, a good internship. So only thing is, if you are good at what you do, you get everything. Yep.
Yeah. So next is, I am a first year STEM student. What will be the ideal roadmap for me? Like, I am more interested in web development.
Cool. For the folks in first year, right? This first year is just to have fun. Okay, so explore everything. Whatever you feels fancy to you, like web, front end, back end, explore. Try everything, right? So at the end of first year, you should try everything. You should know, okay, I have to become a web developer, or I want to become a front end developer, I want to become a full stack developer. So at the end of first year, or by second year, you should know what you want to look like, or you want where you want to be. So based on that, you can start your journey. For web, right? I can give a quick overview. Start learning about HTML, which is very basic. Learn about CSS. And then if you have time, you can learn about frameworks like Tailwind, a lot of frameworks related to CSS. So this is optional. So this is optional. But yeah, after you learn CSS, learn about JavaScript, because JavaScript is heavily used in front end applications. So once you learn about JavaScript, so after you learn JavaScript, once you learn most of the important concepts, you get to choose two paths. So you can start with Angular, which is a complete framework by Google. Or if you want to start learning React, which is a library, not a framework. There's a huge difference between a framework and a library. So React is a library, which is again by Facebook. So if you want to start, again, Angular is a framework which has literally everything. It takes a lot of time to learn because the learning curve is huge. In case if you're looking for React library, once you learn React library, it's just a library. You need to learn about any framework. So then it comes next, Vue or a Nest. So there are a lot of options. You can learn about that. This is a bit of overview when I tell about tech stack. And then for a web developer, it's important to know about networking, how a request is made, how a client applications fetch when you go for www.google.com, right? How things work internally under the hood. So that is important to understand. To build a very efficient or a very good web application, you should know these things. You should know about OS a bit. You should know about networking layers, and then there are a lot of advanced concepts like webhooks, types of API request. There is HTTP, there is gRPC, and there is sockets. And I think I missed some other one. There's one more. So you can check about these things, how these which one to use, where, explore. So yeah, this should be the one. But I have if you go to this particular website, right, it's an open source repo where it has roadmap for literally everything. So if you go for roadmap.sh, it has all the roadmap, so you can go through that, follow that. It's good. I think that should help you.
Yeah. So next we have Vainanda Nagar again. At what time or period we get hired in Mang companies? After working 2-3 years in small companies, or we get hired directly?
Again, it all depends, right? There are people after graduation, they get into big man companies, including me, right? Whereas there are people who work for a small scale companies, startups, and then join big companies. I know a lot of people who did that as well. Uh, Only reason being, it doesn't mean that all the people who work in like startups are getting hired by big companies, right? It's all the individual putting efforts to learn and where they want to see after a few years. Best part is if you work for a startup for 2 years or 1 year, as I mentioned, you will know end to end how that startup works. You know, you are not just working on one particular feature, you are working on an entire project. Your team is very small. You will directly talk to CTO, CEOs, tech leads, team leads, and everyone, right? You work in a very smaller team. You know your product very well. You grow along with the product. For example, join a you join a startup, and you get to learn a lot from end to end. Even if you're a software engineer, for example, you will also know about deployment, which will give you a bit more knowledge on DevOps as well. How the migration works, a bit of database side, so that gives the data engineering concepts. And you write your own documentation, which helps you to write technical documentation. You write your own test cases, which gives the skills of test engineers, right? Uh, so this happens in startups. Whereas if you join a big company, maybe a service-based company, you will be just selected as a tester, or you'll be just selected as a DevOps, or you'll be just selected as a software engineer, and your responsibility comes very narrow down. So you'll just code, or you'll just look after DevOps, or you just write something, right? Uh, yeah, if you work in a small scale company, you will learn a lot in a very small period, so that you can give interview to big companies and get selected easily. Only thing is, just being part of this small company won't help you to land a big job. There are a lot of hard work, efforts, consistency which is required. But that being said, the whole thing becomes a bit easier since you get exposed to a lot of tech in a small scale company. Still, if you are really good, you started your preparation very early, you are working hard, you have been applying for a lot of companies, you have some good internship, you will still get selected directly for a big tech company as well.
Yeah. So the next question is by Rishabh. Have you contributed in GSOC? If yes, do you have any suggestions on how to go on with it?
Uh, Honestly, I was not. I think I applied 1 year when I was, think second year or third. I'm not sure. Second year, I guess, for GSOC, but I was not able to go through. It's a really good program, Google Summer of Code by Google, where you get to work on real world projects. You get paid really well, but only thing is the difficulty level is too high. That doesn't mean it should stop you from preparation. Nothing like that. If I'm not wrong, no one from our college cracked GSOC till date. So if you put efforts, you will be the first one who will do that. But yeah, it's a really good program to learn, work like an internship on an open source project and still get paid. Once you have GSOC on your resume, you get a really good opportunities. But if you're not able to go through GSOC, there are alternate programs as well. Whereas GitHub has their own program. Uh, I forgot the name, but MLH has a program similar to that. Uh, Maybe I can just quickly check for that. I'm not getting the name. MLH Fellowship is a program from MLH where you work on open source projects and you get paid really hefty. So the pay is really high, and even GitHub has a program similar to that. Not sure what is it called, but yeah, I'm aware of that. Maybe Divish or someone, if you are aware. So, anyways, I'll share the details later. But yeah, if you are not able to go through GSOC, apply for MLS fellowship. It happens every quarter or every quarter, and there are 3 programs right now. Keep checking for the applications. Keep applying. Once you get through MLH, the pay is really good. It adds a lot of values on your resume. And for these, if you have some open source contribution already, that adds a lot of plus. For example, if you are already contributing to some of the open source project, right, and you know how things work, so that means through the MLH application processing or screening, they take your interviews or you get selected or shortlisted. So don't wait for GSOC to start open source contribution. Start open source contributions, and then once you have enough contribution, you can easily crack the interview and get the opportunity.
Yeah, I guess you mean Octanship for GitHub, right?
Yeah, but Octanship, yes. That's all.
Yeah. Yes. So another question we have from Srujan Rai, like which mechanical keyboard you are using?
Oh, I just bought a Keychron K6 with red switch, brown switches. So that's a mechanical keyboard. I am a bit more into gadgets, so I spend some money on my gadgets. I have another mechanical which is in my office, but that is also from Keychron. So I like Keychron keyboards a lot. But that one is a blue switch. This is red switch. Yeah. Oh, sorry. This is brown switch. That is blue switch.
Yeah. So we want to ask on the cost of that.
Cost. And I think it's out of stock. But yeah, I can say it.
Yeah. So like another question we had here, the team which is sitting here streaming this. Like if we want to, like, for example, now okay.
Yeah.
Continue. So once you get into the company, like we get some 2-3 years of experience. Now, if we want to switch to other company, do we have to learn DSA and like appear DSA rounds again, or it's directly interview kind of thing?
So if you are talking about software engineering role, you will need a DSA. So that's what DSA is not something you just need just out of college. You should have. So I'll tell why DSA was introduced. Even I had the same question. I asked a lot of people why DSA. Like, I know to build project. Why can't you just hire me, right? What happens is DSA is again it's all about how you solve a problem. If you are using a best method, right? That means even when you write a application, when you write code for an application, you write the best code. And even a small milliseconds in a production helps reduce time and money. You might have seen like someone writing or saving some percentage of time or latency, which increase the profit, right? So that way, even a milliseconds are very important when it comes to our production scale applications. That's why they have DSA. But yeah, if you're applying for any companies internally again, it depends. If you're applying from different role to different, like from SRE role to software engineering, you will have to give a DSA round interview 1 or 2, depends. Or any other roles, right? Or if you want to give an interview from software engineering to SRE, you will have to give interview for OS or system design interviews, sort of that. Every role has their own criteria. So if you're switching from same role to same role from different companies, like software engineering from company A to software engineering company B, then you will have to give 1 or 2 rounds of interview, like DSA related interview. But again, just to add something, for senior software engineering 2 and above that, you should have system design, which is mandatory.
Okay, that's some sad news.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a question from Nandan. How can we join the community like GDSC or MLSA ambassador program?
Just keep an eye. Just keep an eye on the application. If you are active in LinkedIn, you get notified. People might post that the applications are open. If not, just keep going, checking the website. Or the simple thing is just follow their social media applications. When they're hiring or when they're uh, rolling out the forms, you will get notified. You'll get the notification. Apply. Write really well, perform well on your interviews, and then you get hired. So when you join the program, yeah, they're pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I guess all of the questions are over in the chat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that being said,
Also,
Mhm.
yeah. Like any tips you want to give to the juniors,
just
like who are just appearing now?
So folks in first year, just explore, have fun in college, uh, explore everything, whatever domain you want, and end of first year, second year, you should know what role you are looking for or what your interest. And once you find out the interest, second year, just start learning about that, and do a bit of DSA, because any technical role you're looking for, DSA is very important. And once you start doing DSA, start solving questions from second year, third year, or if you are into different domains, start doing what is required to get into a good company. Third year also do the same, or start doing internship from early third year. Don't wait for final year. If you get an internship, you can do it virtually also these days. Get some more experience. Final year is just about placements, or pre-final year, end of pre-final year, you start looking for placements. Sooner sooner the better, right? So if you get an offer very early in your final year, rest of the final year is just to have fun. Okay. If you are not able to get till the end of the final year, the whole final year will be just preparation, giving interviews, and you will not get much time to have fun. So I would suggest start the preparation early, get offer early, or do the internship early, get the offer early, and enjoy rest of your college. But that being said, all the 4 years you need to enjoy. Do some what do you say homework every day. Spend half an hour to 1 hour learning something at least, and weekends have fun, party, do whatever you want. And yeah, this is about the college. So if you're looking for what do you say interview, or if you're in final year or pre-final year, have a good resume which is in ATS format. If you're looking for off campus, get referrals. If you're looking for off campus, have a good LinkedIn profile. Add all the certifications, all the skills you have, all the projects you have. Because when you go for off campus, recruiter or hiring managers, they don't know you, right? You might be good in college, people talk about you, you're good at what you do, but outside folks don't know you, right? Only thing is you should have a good visibility as well. You should showcase what you do. You should have a skill to pitch your project. This is a very important skill. I think Adib might have touched a bit on this, but you should know how to pitch. You should have marketing skills. If you know how to sell your project, that means you get offer. Once you have these skills, you do. The interview becomes very easy. Try doing a lot of mock interviews. Try giving a lot of mock interviews. Once you do that, it becomes much easier to crack. And if you're looking for any role, whatever on your interest, right? I would, as I suggested, based on interest, find the role. Check, do some market research. Okay, I'm good at design. I need to, like Adib said, he wants to get into Adobe. He knew that very early as well. What I suggested is just go to Adobe, keep applying. If you heard about senior Jihad, who was a designer, from first year, he used to apply for Canva. He used to spam. Okay, I wouldn't suggest to spam, but keep applying. It's fine. And guess what? He got an internship in Canva when he was in second year or third year. He was good at design. He wanted that. He came to final year. He got a technical software engineering role. Through placements, he was not happy. He went off campus. He got a design related role. He took that. He started a bit less. Now he's earning good, really good, more than what software engineers straight out of college earns, right? Almost double of that. So that's what. Just be good at what you do is one suggestion what I want to tell everyone. And so if you're looking for any technical roles, off campus after LinkedIn, have a great portfolio. Like even if it's a very basic, it's fine. Try to put all the information, mention about your project, tech stack, links on your resume as well, like the link to the GitHub. Upload all the projects on your GitHub. Keep your GitHub very active. Do some contributions here and there, which shows you are interested. And currently in the market, there are some fields which are hyping up. If you're in third year, final year, so that means that hype will still be there. If you want to get into AI, there are a lot of courses from Google as well. Or if you want to go for any other courses, there are a lot of courses related to AI ML. Learn them. There's a lot of opportunities coming in. Pay is really good. So you can learn about that. Cloud is something very. It's like a future. Uh, no matter what, how many decades or years, cloud is the ultimate, I would say, or hybrid cloud, they would say. Yeah. What happens is companies can't handle the amount of data they generate. They can't have their on-prem servers. They're reaching the extent of the like maximum of these on-prem. Because on-prem servers has to be taken care, has to get 24 into 7 attention, electricity, cooling, disaster recovery, everything takes a lot of resource, energy, and time. So what companies do is they spend the same money on cloud, and then everything is taken by cloud providers. So learning cloud is a good skill. If you have that, getting into companies becomes much easier. You can learn about any cloud, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. If you're part of Google Developer Student Club, or if you're part of Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, you get access to some Google, like you'll get some credits using which you can get hands-on, you can complete courses, you get certifications as well. So other than that, data engineering is something what you can focus on. I'm just giving some tips, I could say. There will be a lot of things coming up in future. AML is completely dependent on data. How do you train the model, right? With the data. So a lot of companies generate the data, but they don't know how to handle the data, how to store the data. So that's where data engineering, data analytics, database engineers, a lot of opportunities, a lot of roles, which is something different from what all software engineers do, right? Or any role which is just hyped up. So see for this role as well. Look for opportunities, keep applying. Along with that, you get some certifications on cloud or any particular AML could be. Get some certifications done. It's gonna add some values, but don't just do certification just to add it on your resume. Certification or courses has to be done to learn something, and what you get to learn is very less. Okay. Once you get a certification, do some projects. If I tell I'm a cloud architect or a data engineer, right? I did courses on cloud. Have I used cloud? Did I do something with cloud? Or, for example, let's take about data engineering. I did some certification on data engineering, but have I did something related? Did I work on any projects? Did I do some internship related to data engineering? If yes, then yeah, the recruiters think that okay, certifications added value to me. If I do some 100 certifications without any projects, no use. No one checks your certifications unless you did something. So yeah, I think those two are the important things. So reach out to people, reach out to SOSC folks. I'm pretty sure they will be happy to help you. If not, reach out to seniors who are in good tech companies. Reach out to me if you need any help. I might not reply as soon as possible, but you can always reach out to me through LinkedIn. You can just go through swas.dev/LinkedIn. I'm just dropping the link so you can use that. Reach out to me. Need any help? Reach out to any seniors, right? I'm pretty sure if you tell you are from our college and you are looking for some great opportunities, if you are doing really well, we all are happy to give referrals. That way, it becomes much easier for you to get into companies, right? Once again, yeah. Cool. Yeah. So keep applying. Just do the good what you do. That's all. Yeah, I was telling about the referral thing, right? If you are good at what you do, reach out to people, and we should be happy to give referrals.
Yeah. And Srijan Rai again commented, your keyboard sound is very satisfying.
That's all. I mean, that's why I pay.
Yeah. 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 So one last question we have, then we'll go for the next question. Pranit asked, as Google started hiring for TSE roles.
Oh, okay. He's asking. If you see, there are some roles, but we are majorly looking for seniors. There is an opportunity in Kubernetes, which is part of infra. But yeah, I wouldn't stop you from applying. If you are interested, you can apply. You can reach out to me directly. I can tell a bit more about the role if you are interested. And then there is opening in serverless platform, where they're looking for someone who is aware of serverless things. I think there is also opening in networking. I didn't talk about much related to networking, but networking is also very nice skill. If you want to get into network engineer, if you want to become a network engineer, Cisco is a really good company. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not supposed to say this, but trust me, it's really good. A lot of Googlers who are in networking term are from Cisco. Cisco has a lot of good CCNE networking related certifications. If you have that, getting a job related to networking is very high. And networking is forever. Without networking, nothing works, right? You know the market, so just keep applying. And yeah, that's why I would suggest you to explore, see what you like, and then just do the work.
Yeah. So I guess we are done for the day. There are no more questions left in the chat.
That's cool. Yeah. Any more? If you have any questions, you can reach out to SOSC folks, or you can reach out to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Swasthik, for taking your time. And okay, one important question.
Don't
you should guess the name. You should guess the name who asked it. Okay. How can I get into Google?
I mean, this I can't guess who. Maybe from SOSC or
yeah.
Pause. Bro, first meet me in Bangalore. But yeah, just do the great work. You already work in a very good company, Deloitte, Big Four company. What else you need? Just keep doing what you do and keep applying. Yeah, I think that should help you.
Yeah, that should wrap it up. So yeah, thank you very much, Swasthik. Like you had some meeting as well, right, today?
If you have noticed, I was checking here as well. I am on call. There's a particular event, so it's a tier 1 on call. If something breaks, then I get paged. So I need to go on.
Yeah. Yes.
But luckily, nothing broke till now, and I hope.
Yes. True. So yeah, thank you very much for coming as a speaker for Devhost 2023. We'll see like whether we can meet offline in 2024 Devhost.
Yeah, sure.
Spoilers. Yeah.
I would be happy to meet everyone, especially people from SOSC, right? Maybe this year, and if you folks are in college, I'll be happy to meet in person, talk.
Yes.
And I am pretty sure a lot of people, like even Fawaz and his batchmates, are in town. Maybe we can have a quick sync in college or outside. A few folks. Yeah. That we get, and thanks for having me here, giving me an opportunity to share my experience. And it was great again. Thanks everyone, and all the best for your future.
Yes, thank you very much, and all the best to you too for your future projects and the meeting right now. Hope nothing breaks. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank
So, yeah.
you.
Bye bye.